Good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. If you're working on say a 2009 Ford F-150 5.4 and you have the famous cab mount bolts that are the nut just spins internally. The fronts are a little easier, obviously. I'm just gonna give you a couple quick rundown on both. The fronts are really cool and easy. What happens is there's a little lock tab that normally holds the nut in. You can see it bent upward right down in there. And the nut is, let me get this pry bar out of your way. And the nut is right there. You see how the tabs aren't holding it anymore? Well, if you got MAP gas, go ahead and heat it up, get it good and hot. And then what I do is I just stick a long pry bar down in there to kind of hold on the side of that nut so it won't spin. I'm not gonna be able to get a clearer. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it right there. So I'll put the pry bar like right there, and then the nut or the bolt head is an 18, so go ahead and buzz it off, and it comes out quick like butter. Now the back ones, I looked around and they said, pull the carpet up. Pull the carpet up. It's so easy. There's little, well, if you're working on the power strokes, yeah, there are little caps to get to them. So on the F-150, I pulled all that, and guess what's underneath? I made a little oil mark because that's where there's nothing. That's where it would be, but it's just metal. Yeah, I could have pulled the carpet back and took a hole saw and cut it there, no problem. But I'm not very good at cutting things and I'm not a carpenter. So what I did, and I'm gonna fix it, is I took a hole saw and I cut a hole, and you're gonna have to, with whatever hole saw you use, and I can't find mine now, of course, because I wanna, took a hole saw, and the head of that nut is actually a 22. So 22 mil. I went ahead and stuck that through there, and it fits perfect right on the head of the nut. And then I got that sucker. All kinds of things race through your head when you can't get things done. And it's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So yeah, that's how I got these back cab bolts out. So what I wanted to do, instead of making the hole wider, is I was gonna tack weld that nut, and I'm gonna do it after the fact because fuel tank's right here. And I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna go welding next to a 30-gallon bomb. If anyone's gonna win the bad luck lottery, it would be me. So that's how I did it, folks. Hole saw. I did use a little reciprocating saw to kind of widen it a bit to get the head of the 22 through there. I tried the pry bar method on the back one, but I couldn't get it. Ultimately, the Loctite is what holds me up. So I couldn't heat it because I didn't want to risk it. I am trying to find, oh, here's the hole saw. So it's just a little drill bit. That one is, forgive me, I didn't have, let's see. The diameter I went with was right about there. You can go a little bit bigger, maybe 1.5 inches, and that would allow the 22 mil to clear a whole lot better. But I'll remove that piece of metal out of there later when the cab's in the sky, and I'll weld that back. I'll tack weld that nut back in so it doesn't spin, and then I'll weld that hole shut. So there you go, folks. 2009 F-150, how to remove the cab mount bolts when the nuts just spin. Have a good day.